Hi, welcome to Algoways. So today we are going to discuss one strategy in Bank Nifty, which is basically a semi-directional strategy, and we'll be using the delta difference to have a directional or semi-directional bias on this. So let us get started. So this strategy basically is on Bank Nifty. So underlying will be Bank Nifty. Okay, and see for getting a directional bias or semi-directional bias, individual can use any logic or any indicator or any kind of directional setup which suits him. What I am using in this particular strategy is the most commonly used indicator, which is super trend. So super trend will be the indicator for this particular strategy, and I'm using a setting of 23 instead of 7.3 default. I'm using a setting of 23. Sorry, 20/3. So first thing first, let me just tell what I mean by semi-directional. Either the strategy starts with a directional bias, and then changes its characteristics. Either it starts with directional and then goes non-directional, or start with non-directional and continues with then shifts to directional. And the third category is it starts with non-directional and it still remains non-directional but with a bias, with a directional bias. So this particular strategy will fall in category 3. The strategy will start as a non-directional with a bias and will continue to be non-directional with a directional bias, and it will, whenever the market changes, it will again be staying non-directional with a directional bias, but it will have some adjustments. So let us see how we do this strategy. Everybody knows what is super trend. So let me just take you on super trend chart of Bank Nifty. So this is the latest chart of yesterday, that is 12th. So here you can see that in the morning itself we had a super trend reversal and the sell signal was given, and then again market went up, again a buy signal came, and market went up then down and stayed up further for the day. So what we will do in this strategy, whenever there is a signal on super trend, okay, say suppose down signal. So generally in a directional strategy, what we will do in a down signal, we will sell the call option, okay, and when super trend gives a buy signal on the underlying, we will sell the put option as far as directional is concerned. But in this particular strategy, we will sell both CE and PE with a differential delta. What do I mean by differential delta? Suppose on downside you are selling a call option of zero point 0.5 or 50 delta. We will also sell a put option with a delta which is less than 50. It depends upon how much differential you want. Okay, let's suppose we will sell the delta of PE as 40. So at this particular point, we will sell whenever the signal comes for selling on super trend. We will sell a call option with 50 delta, and we also will sell a put option of say 40 delta. I'm not saying 40 is fixed. You can sell 45 delta as well. You can sell 35 delta as well. Depends upon how much differential you want. Now, what will happen if the market keeps going down? In this case, what will happen when you sell the CE of higher delta and PE of lower delta? Your premium sold of CE will be high because you are selling the higher delta, and your premium sold for the PE will be less. So if market keep going down from here, you will gain more in call option because your delta sold is high, your premium is high, and market is going downside. So your gain in call option will be higher than your loss in the put option, because put option you have sold of lower delta and its premium also was low. So anyway, when the market goes down, continue to go down, then your CE gains will outperform the PE loss. So you will get a differential benefit of market direction. Okay. And now suppose market reverses, like it has happened in this particular case. So what will happen that your CE, if it would have been directional, would have lost plain plain naked selling. It would have been a major loss in call option. But since you have also sold PE as well, so whenever market has reversed, market will go up from here. PE will gain something, though those gain will be less than the CE loss. But still, because your direction has gone wrong, still PE share is providing you some protection against the losses of CE. If it would have been directional, so our losses will be less. Okay, let us take an example of this. Let me just go on Excel. Okay, when market is down, you sell CE of 50 delta and PE of say 40 delta. And when market, when super trend has given a signal which is bullish, we will sell a higher PE, say 50 delta, and we will sell a lower CE of say 40 delta. Okay, so this will be our initial deltas which we will sell. So whenever market is going down, our sold PE is very high, that is 50 delta, and PE is 40 delta. So if market keep going down, we will gain uh, because our CE profit will be less than the PE losses. If market reverses, then our PE will compensate some of the CE losses. It will not compensate fully because PE sold is less. But still, because our direction has gone wrong, it is compensating something. And third thing, if market stays range bound from there, so in that case, both CE and PE will give us something because of theta decay. So in all the three cases, case one is if market is in our direction, whichever signal was given by super trend. If it remains in that direction, we gain because our CE will gain more. If market reverses, we will lose less because our PE will compensate something. Scenario 3 is if markets start to range from that particular entry point, then both CE and PE will decay something and we will gain. So all the three scenarios, in two scenarios, we will gain, and in one scenario we will lose, but we will not lose as much as we could have lost in a pure directional strategy. Same is the case when market goes up. Okay. So let us, I have done this strategy in TradeTron. Let me go to TradeTron. So this is AW115. Okay. See, so let me take the example of yesterday only. So our initial signal was sell on super trend. So what does the strategy do? It sold a CE of 341 rupees, 341 points of 38,800, and it sold a PE of 268. So we have a higher CE premium sold than the PE premium because the market direction was negative. Now, if you see the chart, the market reversed from there. It started going up, and ultimately there was a buy signal on super trend. So what we will do with the initial positions, we will hold these initial positions till a reversal signal happens on super trend till here. That is 1120. Okay. So we'll hold that, and that at this point of time we will sell a PE of 50 delta and we will sell a CE of lesser delta. 40 delta, I am just saying for understanding, we can sell 0.45, we can sell 0.35 as well. Depends upon how aggressive you want to be with the direction. So what happened here in this particular scenario yesterday, we have sold 341 CE on when the signal came down, and we sold a PE of 368. Now the market reversed from there, and if you see, we lost something in CE, 571 rupees, but we gained in PE 1135. Okay, and at this point of time at 11 or 1110, that reversal has come on chart. So at 1110, we closed the original CE and PE positions, and we sold PE with higher delta, which means higher premium of 306, and we sold a call premium with a lower delta, which is 258. And after that, if you see, the market has never come down, and our position market went up. We would have got in PE, and we would have lost something in CE. So if this continued, there is no reversal signal after that. If there would have been a reversal signal, again we would have closed these two positions and would have sold higher call option and lower put option deltas again. But that was not the case in this particular day. So what happened at the end of the day? We gained 1,573 in put option, and we lost 1095. So put together we gained 1041 rupees in the entire day, with one reversal coming in the during the day. Now there is a further improvement in this strategy. See, individually can think of further improvements as well. Generally, what happens, if you see here, when the sell signal came, there was the super trend, because super trend has to shift the direction. So whenever direction is shifted, the super trend value is very far away from the current market price. If you see in this particular case, our super trend value was 38975, and our closing price on that particular candle is 38840. So quite a difference. So generally, what I have this in this particular scenario, one improvement, that we don't enter immediately on the trend reversal or on the trend reversal on super trend. Instead, we wait for price to retrace something or come near to the super trend. Like this was around 200 point difference. So I don't want to enter because my risk on call option will be here 200 points of underlying movement. I don't want that much risk. So I want that the price should retrace back to super trend side, so that then I will take an entry which will have lower space to move in opposite direction to our differential delta. Okay. So I will enter somewhere when the market has reversed something and is nearer to the super trend. You can fix any number of points that the price of the candle close price of the underlying should be within certain number of points from the super trend. Say I take suppose 150 points. Okay, so if the price has come within the 150 points or 100 points, that number can vary depending upon how much you want to risk on the differential delta. That number can vary whether we want to enter within when the price is within 150 points of super trend, or 100 points of super trend, or 50 points of super trend. In case you have entered when the price is just 50 points away from the super trend after retracement, it means if your uh, market goes against your initial direction, which was downside, on further 50-point movement against you, there will be a buy signal. There is a reversal. So your loss in CE will be to the extent of 50-point movement of underlying. At the same time, PE will gain something which will be equivalent to 50 points move of underlying. So your loss will be very, very less in that particular case. So now somebody may ask that what happens if market does not retrace at all? After this sell signal on super trend, it does not retrace at all. So what will happen? Market will keep going down, right? But at the same time, when market keeps going down, your super trend also will keep coming down, right? So it will try to catch up the prices because it's following the price. So at certain point of time during the day, there will be a situation whether either super trend has moved towards the price or price has moved towards the super trend on retracement, or both have moved a bit. Like first market went down, super trend came down. Now when market start going up, super trend will not go up. Super trend will stay there. So the now price is going up. So the gap between super trend and price is decreasing. So the situation will come where your entry condition will get satisfied. Then you take the entry. That is to limit your per entry risk. So this is what this strategy is. So if you see here, let me just show again. On the previous to yesterday, day for yesterday, if we see here, let me just go on the chart also. We got a gap up opening, and on the first candle itself, we had a reversal of trend on super trend. So it was on bearish mode on closing of previous day. Next day morning, it has opened gap up, and immediately the super trend has given the buy signal. But if you see, the super trend is at 38,400 and the price is 38,786. Almost 400 point gap between the price and the super trend. So now what happens if market immediately, this was the first candle, immediately sells off and immediately comes down? If your entry would have taken place, the market will move almost 400 points downside when your reversal will happen on the your sold premiums. So that means you will lose heavily. Your PE will lose heavily. Your C will not gain much because that is less premium. So your strategy may very well hit the stop loss of for the day within the first two candles itself if we sell it here. So the strategy would have not sold it at 9:15. Just let me see what time it has sold. So it sold at 10:15, 110 premium. This was expiry day, I think, of PE because it was bullish, and CE definitely would have sold less, 84 rupees. Okay, and 10:15 time. So let me see, 10:15 is here. It has sold here. Okay, so it has waited for 1 hour to see the super trend and the price gap bridging to limit which we have defined. So then it is sold, and then further there was no signal or reversal on that particular expiry day. So the market remained sideways, and of course we would have got one premium 0. This premium got exited at 53, and this got exited at 38. So now this exited because we have set up a target of 2,500 rupees for the day for the strategy. Same is the stop loss. Now, if you would have left the strategy to run till 3 p.m. or 3:25 p.m., both the premiums have become 0, if you see here. Okay, but still, rule is rule. If this is the defined profit, we will take it. So this is the strategy, and there can be many variations of this. You can have some more improvements, and one improvement I told, there can be many because there are more than one ways or two ways to trade the same kind of logic for better results. I have the positional version of this strategy running from quite some time. That is AW125. This is the one. This is weekly position strategy. So if you see here, we have a position of call option open at 84 and put option sold at 106. That means it has gone with a bullish bias on Friday. So we have to hope for that market opens gap up or it remains sideways, at least not much gap down. This strategy has got hedges as well, so it can be done in 70,000. This is Nifty basically, जो weekly वाला है, and intraday one is Bank Nifty. So that's it, guys. This was the strategy for today, and further many improvements can be done by individuals. I will put the link of this particular strategy in the description box of this particular video. You can just have a look on paper trade, and if you want some improvement to be done, some customization to be done, I can be contacted for that. If you see the results of this strategy for some time, I think I'm running it for quite 4 months now. It has given May when I started this, May 16th. So May is half month, this much. Then 9.8K in June, July 11.7K, which is around 7%, 6.5%. And in August till now it is 7,000. If you see, the drawdown has been 2,700, which is 2%, which is negligible. One more good point is that standard deviation, you see how less it is, and the Sharpe ratio is 7.82. Anything above 5 is treated to be very good. So you can play around with the settings, play around with the logic, and try to improve and deploy in live accounts. If you are not keen to take that pain of developing or coding it and then deploying, you can subscribe the strategy. I will give the link in the description box. Or if you want further customization to your risk appetite and your requirement, you can contact me for the same. So I'll close this video here. I'll request that if the content is good, there is some learning in it, I will request to subscribe the channel and press the bell icon so that you get a notification for my next video as well. Like the video if the content is good. Thank you guys. Thanks a lot.